Stocks and Crypto Stallioners, and this is part 2 of my technical analysis. Today is the first day of August, August 1st, 2021, and a lot of interesting things happened in the market in the past week. So for this next part, I'm going to be covering AMD, Tesla, BNTX, and Zoom. So we'll start with AMD. AMD had a great breakout. It has been trading in the range of say 82, I believe, into like 94 in the past a little bit over 12 months or so. So it is just trading in this range. As you can see here, it is getting rejected every time it tried to break out. So right here, it tried a little mini breakout right there, but still unsuccessful until last Thursday. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, the 7th attempt. It's just 7, the 8th attempt. Sorry about that, which is right there. So this was the $94 mark, and this is right after they reported their stellar earnings. So here I drew a horizontal line for the $94, the breakout point, as well as the line at the bottom, a trend line for the support and the potential resistance. Okay, so I usually would go for, get rid of this. So I usually would go for, so now that I have drawn a line here, actually the 106 points, so from 94 all the way to 106, which is great for AMD, as we have not seen that. So if you draw a trend line from January 21st, which is the highest that it got, which was the previous all-time high, right? All the way here, so you could see here, and then it hit here, which is the current all-time high. Now, if this breaks that 106, then we could potentially see AMD to hit the 112 area. So from this trend line, let me fix that, which is right there. So it looks like it's following this green trend line up here. And I want to say about the 112 area. So that is a pretty good, that'll be a pretty good gain. So, but I'll be careful though, because it already ran from 94 to 106. So that's a big point. So if you're going to play this, just be careful. I would treat this as a day trade. I would probably be careful with swing trade unless it ended up in the negative, right? So in terms of momentum, it is still very strong. I don't see any reversal pattern yet on the daily. And for day trading, if we look at the 15 minutes, okay. So the 15 minutes is starting to consolidate. So you could see it had this nice run right there. So I would do a fib so we can all see where are the levels are playing. So let's do a fib starting from the big run. So I just do fib retracement right here, and I will just go from wick to the highest wick. Okay, so let's see if it's observing the fib. Okay, so it had a nice bounce here, the 101.8, big candle right here that pushes this above the resistance of 103.22. But then it started to consolidate here at this level. So it is now in the middle of the Bollinger Band. So the momentum also kind of started to slow down in the 15 minutes. So as I mentioned earlier, it ran up so much that if it's going to try and hit the 112, then I think you should treat these as a quick trade. Yes. So it has a consolidation period on last Friday that it just stays above it because it had this big nice run up, right? So it will just stay around here. And then it still is bullish, but it is again going to be a quick trade in my opinion. The next up is Tesla. Okay, so Tesla, let me go to one of these guys. Okay, so Tesla also reported its earnings last Monday on the 26th, and it did like amazing, like 53 above, like close to 54%. But Tesla has been an average trade, right? So it has been going from the 620 here at the bottom. I'm at a daily chart, by the way. Here at the bottom, the 620, there's like some really strong support here. Horizontal line, right? It seems to be bouncing off here. So you can see all these candles. There's a lot of buyers right here. And recently started having a higher lows. And that drove from the 27th, or I think there was an announcement of an AI conference or something like that right after a stellar earnings, but still is struggling, but with the higher lows, right? Higher lows, higher highs. So that is a really good indication. And also, it broke the 50 SMA right here. So it operated right above it. So that is a good sign. I want to look at my SMA 20, SMA smooth moving average for 20. See if I can add that. So yeah, also in the SMA 7 the past week, it is right above it. So that is a very good sign. It's a really bullish sign. So we'll just keep the SMA 7 because that's in a shorter period of time. EMA 3, it is about to break it. So this is an exponential moving average of the past 3 days. You know, it's more closely related to the price action in the past couple of days. So I like the EMA 3, and it broke the 670 resistance. So now the 670 is acting as your support. So if it stays above 670, which I think it did, I think it closed at 680 or something last Friday, right? Then I would say that Tesla is poised to test the 700s again. And once 700 has been broken, it's going to try and attempt 714. 714 in my dotted line is a very critical resistance. It's a hard level to break. So once this one breaks, because there's a lot of things that's happening in that level in the past. So a lot of activity. The seven, it was it was once a support. There's like, and then acted as a resistance. Again, a support. So that is a very hard level to break, and we haven't been there in a very long time. So that is the next level after the 700. So once we surpass the 714, then we can start seeing the bigger moves in Tesla, the 740s, the 760s, or even close to the 782s. But right now, I would say that Tesla would be probably testing the 700, breaking the 700 into the 714. So if you place a call when you see Tesla in the 700, make sure that you guys have a plan, because 714 is a critical level. It's a hard level to break. I would like to look at the 15 minutes because I like looking at that for a quick price. Okay, so as you can see, all these EMAs and SMAs that I have, EMA 7 is curving up, EMA 8 is also curving up, EMA 3 as well is curving up. So that is a really good sign, and it's way above the SMA 50 and the 15 minute, and a really nice candle right here. So there's some buyers going on here, but as you can see, last Friday, if you guys remember, it had this nice doji candle, but then it broke out a nice buying that changes the trend. However, when it was close to 700, you start seeing the sell-off. This is Friday as well too, so you can see that trend reversal right here. But it stayed above the 682. Right, the 680 I believe is a nice, as long as it's 675 then you're good. So it stayed actually above 680, 682. So you could see every time it hits that, right, it is getting bought up. So that is actually a really good sign of a continuation that especially ended up with a nice bullish engulfing candle for the next 15 minutes. So that is, I'm pretty bullish with Tesla. But again, 714 is a critical level, so make sure that you guys have a plan. Next up is BNTX. So BNTX is BioNTech, ticker is BNTX, and it ran so nicely. Um, it was almost mirroring Moderna. So part of this could be that the new Delta virus strain has been making a lot of rounds, making a lot of news. COVID cases has been increasing, so and the need for vaccination. The president has announced is more mandate on vaccination. So the need for these COVID play, the vaccine play, the Moderna, the BNTX, as well as Pfizer, also had a nice run. So I wasn't sure about Johnson and Johnson. I haven't looked at the chart, but let's focus on BNTX. So BNTX overall has a nice uptrend, right? So I drew a line here. Probably I was trading that before, but it did undergo this consolidation period where horizontal line where it was trading between 194 and the 240s. So 1 week, 1 week before, 1 week before, okay, so once it broke, okay, so that is a breakout level. So as you can see right here, it was operating between 193 into 230, 240, which is still a big number considering if you're day trading this, if you are swinging this. So but this was your breakout point. As you can see with the Bollinger Band, it started to extend. So part of this too is that you have this momentum, and it happened in July 16. So this is when the whole Moderna started. This was the Moderna news of being enlisted in the S&P, I believe, and then that's when Moderna had a great run, right? So what happened here, I would like for you to pay attention on the 240 all the way onto 330. So that's almost 100 points. And another thing here, is, other than maybe it's getting a sympathy play from Moderna, is it has earnings. Earnings is coming up on August 9th. So that is next week. So if you think about the move from 195 up to 330, that is a big move. So is there any more room for this to grow? After that big move, I am in the past, I'm not seeing it. That's probably also because they don't have the vaccine yet. But I will be careful because there's might be a lot of profit takers, right? So there's going to be, because it ran up so much that people are going to get their money. So for BNTX, I have a level of 300 as a support and 330 as the all-time high. It could go back to 300 as a pullback, and then it might test it again. But again, I'll be careful for the earnings for next week. People might start taking profit, right? So as soon as you see a change in your EMAs and the EMA 8 and 4, if this red line, if it hits the 300, then I think it's going to start falling and might be going back to the 240 levels, 240, 250, 240 levels. So watch out for that. So if it breaks 300, then we could see a 262 to 245. Okay? So I want to look at the 15 minutes. You can do 1 hour, 15, 10. I also do 10 minutes. Okay. Okay, so this is the 15 minute. If I'm going to day trade this, I am on the top of the Bollinger. It could most likely hit the middle of the Bollinger Band of 324. And I am seeing a crossover between the shorter EMA and the 1 week EMA. So I'll be careful. So here, if you're going to day trade this, make sure that you know that there is, ooh, that is a nice, okay, so it is at a nice support line of 328. So quickly, if this breaks this, then we could play puts, and if it bounces up of here, then we could establish a new all-time high. Okay, so AMD, Tesla, BNTX are one of the few that ran while the market is having a sell-off, while the big tech are having a sell-off. Another one is Zoom. So Zoom has been quiet for some time. This is a big COVID play when it hit, I believe it was 600 or something like that. Yes, that was the highest point of Zoom. And it did a great, amazing job since COVID. Now, if you guys remember that Zoom was not trading at this much, Zoom was about $100 back in March, and it's one of those stocks that just continue to go up, like amazing, massively. And then once we have the vaccine, we started having the vaccine news, and it's trying to recover around here. December, I think the first rollout of vaccine was around here in December. It tried to rally, but then it got rejected here at 454, and then it slowly started to bleed. There is a critical support here at 260, and then since then, this is around May, and it started to come back up again. But however, recently, so in the last price action, 350 was the resistance here, resistance, and became a support. So from that support line, the 50, we started seeing a lot of buying opportunities, of buyers stepping in. You see that all these candles, although it's ending up at red, but you can start seeing the behavior of the buyers and the reversal here of the shorter EMA and the higher EMA and the moving average for the 200 close. It's still below the 200 close. So, oh no, it broke it. Sorry, it broke the 200 MA, which was great for long term. And then the EMA 9 and SMA 50, it broke above this level. It is going upward. It's tracing the moving average 9, EMA 3, EMA 8. They're all curving up. And it also helps that there's some good news of buying five something for Zoom. Another thing also to remember for Zoom, I think it could run up a little bit more, is that on August 31st, the end of the month is earnings, right? So as you can see, traders are starting to recognize that this is a good, like there's people here now. You can see the volume starting to increase, and this is probably towards earnings. So critical point here for Zoom is the 400. Once Zoom breaks the 400 mark, you could see the 417, 420 mark, which is right here in the green line. So if I'm going to day trade this, I would say that horizontal line, that is a good support. 377 was probably a good support. Like once I see all of my indicators, like you could just use the SMA 9, I mean the MA 9, it is right on top of the SMA 50, so that is a good support. But once the SMA 9, the MA 9, I'm sorry, let's go close that. Sorry. Once this blue line started to curve up and the price goes above it, I think it will be a good short-term trade. Okay. Yeah, so far I'm not seeing any reversal pattern for the short term. I think that is the support, so people might start buying it at this level and might start a reversal going to test the 400. So that is it. We have covered the AMD, Tesla, BNTX, and Zoom. Now stay tuned for more charts for part 3. And thank you and have a nice day.